Does your Medivac micro look like this, where you're just struggling to get anything into the Medivacs? Or, more likely, is it like this, where only some of the units are getting in at certain times, and you're just trying to get away from a fight? Or like me, when I was in Plat, every time I issue a get in the Medivac command when there's Zerglings nearby, all the Marines just melt. If so, this video is probably going to be helpful for you. Let's talk about how to get our armies in and out of our Medivacs as fast as possible. In order to load your army as fast as possible, what you're going to do is you're going to select your army and tell it to load into the Medivac by right-clicking it. Then, you select your Medivac and you move the Medivac over your army. If there's more than one Medivac, the process is still the same, we're just going to be using Shift. So, we would still highlight the whole army, right-click one of the Medivacs, and Shift-click the rest of the Medivacs. Once they're all Shift-clicked, select the Medivacs and move them over your army. Once you get really good at this, you'll be able to perfectly execute the "oh crap, it's ultras" technique, and you'll be able to save all of your bio, just like so. Just in case you haven't learned how to drop while moving, what you do is you select your Medivac, you click the drop command, not on the ground, but on the Medivac, and that'll result in it being able to move around. There's also this benefit of when you're clicking on each individual Medivac to unload it, it heals your units while it's unloading. And that's a lot better compared to this situation that I'm about to show you, where if you just click on the ground, your Medivacs just kind of like waste time. There could have been like 3 more healed units by the time all of those actually got on the ground. So, the choice is yours. Move while unloading, or heal while unloading. And worst case scenario, just, I guess, don't do anything while unloading. Now we're getting to the interesting stuff. If you don't have the APM to sit here and babysit an army while it's sniping a building, what you can do is cue them to leave as soon as the building dies. The way to do that is tell them all to attack the building, shift-click your Medivacs, and then shift-click your Medivacs away. Disclaimer, this does not work all the time. Sometimes you're gonna have, I don't know, 2 or 3 Marines that are just sad and they just can't find their way to the Medivac before the Medivac's like, heck no, I'm not staying here, I'm getting out of here. And there was that awkward one Marine that he was like, I'm getting in, I'm not getting left behind, right? But what I'm just trying to say is that this method is not fully reliable for getting every single one of your units out alive. So use it at your own risk. In addition to queuing a pickup, you could also queue a very fancy kind of drop. First, you're going to right-click where you want to go, hold Shift, select the drop command and click your Medivac, and then tell it where to finish dropping. And you'll have something that pretty much looks like this. This would be better than leaving all of your Marines in one clumped up area, because Banes aren't going to be as effective against this, and not to mention the surface area that you're going to be getting on mineral lines is pretty much the entire mineral line, so it's not like there's going to be just half of the mineral line surviving. Okay, I lied earlier. This is where it actually gets interesting. If you want to queue up Hellbats to drop into individual bases, what you can do is you right-click where you want one to drop, you press on the Medivac to unload it, you immediately shift-hold the stop command, and then once again you repeat the drop command in another mineral line. And this is what it's going to look like, where you're going to have one Medivac doing this thing, not stopping to make a drop. It's just going to do its duty and return on home. Although that last way was a little more efficient, it's probably much easier to right-click where you want to drop one, hold Shift and left-click out a unit, and then do the same thing at a different base. The sad thing to this is that your Medivac does decelerate and slow down to a stop to drop each individual unit. One of the other things that I found that sucks with this method, besides it slowing down, is that you can only really do it with one Medivac at a given time. And that's just because this command card here in the center of the screen, you need that for each individual queue command. If there's 2 Medivacs, you won't be able to see the individual units to drop out, like I'm doing right now. One of the commands that I wish I would have learned a long time ago is the stop command. You know, it does what it says it does. It stops all things from happening. So that means that the drop would stop. I don't know how many times you guys have had it where you're dropping and you're like, oh crap, I'm getting surrounded by like Zerglings or Zealots and I need to like get back into the Medivac. But your units are like, no, I'm gonna keep popping out, and you're like, no, get back in, and they're like, no. But what you can do is you can press the W and get your units back in the Medivac the way that we talked about earlier. Something that's going to be helpful for splitting off drops from the main army, or for just sorting your Medivacs, is you can tell all of your Medivacs to drop somewhere, and that will tell every Medivac that is full to go over there. So that's how I was able to easily split the 4 that were empty versus the 5 that were not. Now that you understand that concept, we're now able to drop different places while attacking with our same army. The way that you control this is you first load up a few Medivacs, move where you want the whole army to go. You gotta select all the Medivacs, tell them to unload somewhere. You have the choice of rebinding that one Medivac that's alone or the 2 or 3 Medivacs that are alone to a different hotkey. I suggest doing it using Alt and then rebinding your main army with Control, so that way none of the units in the Medivacs that left are going to be pulled with the control group that is used for the main army. So you've gotten this far. If you've learned something, I'd appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe. If there's something that I didn't include in this video about Medivac control that needs to be in a video about Medivac control, please let me know in the comments. If there's a new concept, I will definitely make a new clip. I'll link it through info cards in the top right. If there is things that I've done right now, you'd be seeing them in the top right through the info cards right now. Anyway, thanks. Bye.